What is an ignition interlock device? I have another video on that you can watch, but what an ignition interlock device is, it's a little machine that's put on your car and you have to blow into it before you drive. And it's going to make sure that you have no alcohol in your system when you drive. So the California DMV will allow you to drive with that interlock device with no restrictions whatsoever, as long as that interlock is on there. You blow into it, you have no alcohol in your system, you're free to drive anywhere you want. You have another option here in California. It's called the restricted license option. Now, in order to get the restricted license, you're gonna have to wait 30 days where you can't drive at all. It's called a 30-day hard suspension. So for 30 days, you cannot drive at all. So whatever you're doing for those 30 days, you're gonna have to figure out alternative means of transportation. On your 31st day of the suspension, you will be eligible for the restricted license. Now, what does the restricted license do? It allows you to drive to and from work, to and from your court-ordered programs, the first conviction program, the MAT class, volunteer work, whatever court orders you to do, your restricted license will authorize you to do that. To and from work, to and from your court-ordered programs, sometimes to and from school. Now, a lot of times I get questions, Dodd, what about taking my kids to school? Unfortunately, here in California, the restricted license does not allow you to take your kids to school. It doesn't allow it. But what your attorney can do is, in your criminal case, the attorney can ask the judge for authorization for you to take your kids to school. So even though the DMV is going to give you a restricted license for very limited purposes, to and from work, to and from school, or to and from work in the course of employment, to and from any court-ordered programs, your attorney can ask the judge to give you a restricted license to drive your kids to school, or for any other purposes, for medical appointments. If you're a caretaker for your mother and you need to take your mother to doctor's appointments, well, that technically could be to and from work and in the course of employment if you're a caretaker. If you're not and you just got to take a family member to the hospital or to medical appointments, then you can ask a judge to authorize you to do that. So even though the DMV is going to tell you you can only drive to and from work in the course of employment, to and from any court-ordered programs, etc., your attorney can still go in front of a judge and have a judge authorize you to drive to other places that your DMV will not